Good morning. My name is Dr. Carolina Botha and I'm the Academic Coordinator of the Work Integrated Learning Program. Work Integrated Learning is one of the most exciting parts of becoming a teacher. That is the practical time that you are going to spend in schools for the next 4 years. During that time, you're going to be exposed to wonderful mentor teachers. You're going to learn the knowledge, skills and values you need to be a good teacher. And it is just hopefully going to be a confirmation of your dream to be a teacher. So I am quickly going to discuss with you how the Work Integrated Learning Program at our university is structured and what will be expected of you in this year as well as in the 3 coming years. So welcome to Will. This is the Will superhero and you will see this little guy in all of our communication. We have a YouTube channel where he's the main peanut and all the information that you need for work integrated learning will often come to you via this little guy. For Will, you will do 8 practical sessions. So that is 1 module per semester. It is so important, guys, that you realize that these Will modules make up the backbone of your teaching program. Everything that you learn in lectures and in classes, we need to translate to what happens to you while you are in a school. Ensure that you register for the correct modules. Please note that there, as I said, is a YouTube channel. There's a video showing you exactly what modules to register for. Because this is the dangerous thing. If you register for the wrong Will module, or if you fail a Will module, you will study for a whole year longer. I'm going to repeat that sentence quite a few times in this presentation. You need to make sure that you are registered for the correct modules. Will has only 1 assignment and 1 portfolio per semester. So that is different than your other subjects. In your other academic subjects, you will have continuous assessment. So you will have 3 or 4 or 6 assignments to submit. If you do poorly in the one, you always have a chance to do it better in the next. With Will, that's not the case. You only submit 1 document per semester. So if you fail that document or you fail to submit that document, there's no catch-up. There's no safety net. There are no second opportunities for practical modules. You will see in academic modules, very often the lecturer will say, oh, okay, it didn't go so well. We'll just take 2 of the 3 assignment marks. Or I'll give you another chance to submit. According to the yearbook of the faculty, that's not true for practical modules. You have 1 go. So you need to make that 1 go work for you. So this module really needs to be a priority in your life. You need to realize that it is an integrated module in all of your others. That is where everything that you're learning comes together. So what is Will? Will is one of your great joys where we put you in a school, in a class with an experienced teacher, and we give you freedom to learn. It is various components of learning from practice and learning in practice. And that is what makes teaching a professional qualification and not just an academic qualification, because we have this big practical component. It's not only something that happens twice a year when you go to school. It's something that should be in the back of your mind all the time. You will see in your majors you're going to do micro-teaching. So you're going to plan a little lesson and present it to your classmates. That's part of Will. That's teaching practice. That is practicing how to teach. So eventually you will have all the skills and confidence, but for the first 3 years, we follow a co-planning and co-teaching model. So you will go into a school, first you will just observe. You'll sit in the back of the class and you will watch a good teacher in action. Then we're going to invite you to co-plan with her. So you're going to sit together and plan tomorrow's lesson. And then we're going to invite you to co-present with her. So she's going to do a little bit of the lesson and you're going to do a little bit. And eventually, you're going to know how to do it all by yourself. And in your 4th year, you will be teaching all alone. And at 2 stages, we are going to send a lecturer to that class to come and assess you. That is such a scary thing. But it is such a wonderful opportunity to show us how you've grown what you have learned. Will forms the core of the teaching program, and it is often one of the most rewarding experiences. One of the classes that I love the most during the year is when students come back from the schools to class, is to ask, what did you experience? What did you see? What did you learn? What did you learn about children? What did you learn about yourself? And they all come back and they say, for that first week I was so tired, I was asleep at 8 at night. I never knew how much admin teachers had to do. It's not that 8 to 2 job with 4 holidays a year that I thought it might be. So it's a wonderful reality check, but it's such an adventure. The purpose of Will is part of the essence of becoming a teacher. So it's a prerequisite for a successful completion of your BA degree. And what do we want you to do? We want to expose you to teaching practice in various contexts. And I want to stop here for a moment and beg of you, please listen very carefully. Do not just go back to the school where you were a student yourself. Firstly, it's so difficult for you to act as a professional when you walk into a staff room where you still call everybody juffrou and meneer and miss and missus. So please go to a school that's totally different from the one where you were at, so that you get treated as a professional when you get there. When you get to a school, you'll quickly learn. You just don't go and sit on the first chair you see, because the tiny teacher who's been teaching there for 30 years sits in that chair, and you're going to regret it. You need to adapt to the school's way of doing. And please go to a different variety of schools. Go to a school that has a lot of resources, that has whiteboards and cameras and iPads and cool things. And go to a school that has nothing, where you have to create a resource from an empty toilet roll and a little piece of paper. And you'll see that often that is more rewarding than having everything available to you. But you need to see the different contexts that we deal with in South Africa. All schools do not look the same. Do you know that the Department of Education estimates that during COVID, during the homeschool period, only 2,300 of the almost 24,000 schools in South Africa was effective? That's a scary, scary thought. We need to be part of that change. And to be part of it, you need to be exposed to it. So please go to different schools. Don't go to the same school every single time. This presentation I'm doing is on your Ifundi site, so I'm not going to go through all these aims with you. At some stage, you can go and read them for yourself to really see what's the aim of practicals. Why do we need to do it? How is Will structured? As I said, you have 2 modules a year, so 1 module per semester. So you will only be interested in the orange blocks on the far left. If you are a foundation phase student, you need to be registered for EDCC 116 and 126. If you're an intermediate phase student, you need to be registered for EDCC 117 and 127. If you are a senior FET student, you need to be registered for EDCC 118 and 128. Go and verify that right now after I'm finished with this presentation. You cannot be registered for more than 1 per semester. Please make sure. Okay. Then you're going to see that you have 2 Ifundi pages for Will. That should be like that. One is called Will 1 ACA for academic, and the other one is called Will Admin BEd. So all the administrative arrangements is going to be posted on the one site, and all the academic stuff regarding your assessment and your assignment is going to be on the academic page. There are no sites for EDCC 116, 117 and 118. Don't go looking for them. And don't email the lecturer and say, I'm not on the site. The site does not exist. You need to be on these 2 sites, Will 1 Academic and Will Admin. Okay, you'll see that you will probably be on the academic site before you are on the admin site. Don't worry. The admin site gets its names from the academic site, and that takes a day or 2. So after you've finished your registration, please go and make sure that you are on the Will 1 ACA Ifundi site. That is very, very important. Now here's crucial information. As I said, you may only register for one world module per semester. You can't decide I'm going to do the first and the second year summa claar. One world module per semester. You need to pass the first semester to be able to start with the second semester. So that means, guys, that if you fail 116, you're not going to be able to carry on with 126 next semester. Even if you did register for it, they are just going to deregister you because it's a prerequisite that you pass the first semester to be able to do the second semester. If you fail a world module, you immediately extend your studies with a year. Why? Because you can't register for more than two or more modules. So you have 8 semesters, you have 8 modules. If you fail one, you have 9 modules and 8 semesters. See what happens? Extra semester. That's not the optimum. It remains your responsibility to check that you are registered. We have 3,000 first years. We cannot check world module. So you need to make sure, as I said, when I'm done with my presentation, go and check your registration. Do you have 116, 117 or 118 on your registration? There's only one portfolio. Can you remember I said that at the beginning? So there's no catch-up. If you miss the submission date, you fail the module, regardless of how hard you worked at your assignment. So this date needs to be in red on that calendar against your wall. There are no sit-down exams in WIL. Even if next year we're back to conducting classes, you don't write exam, you don't have classes every week like every other subject. This is the practical module, not an academic one. Very important, from next year, you're going to do school-based placement. So in your first year, you don't go out to school, you just do a non-placement program. But from next year, when you do go out to schools, you need to complete every single day of that school-based placement. If you miss a day for no reason at all, then you can fail your module. What does the WIL plan for 2021 look like? In the first semester, you are going to be completing the POP program. POP is an abbreviation for Professional Orientation Program. So we have written a whole semester's worth of work to orientate you to what it means to be a professional, to be a teacher. You're going to do that online, so you will see that by the time you start your academic work, it will already be available on Ifundi for you to start with. It's a self-study course that you're going to work through by yourself with a big assignment in the end. Remember, only one assignment. No school-based placement. So you will not be going out to schools. You cannot go by yourself. I know you would love to probably, but you're not allowed to go to school and say, I'm here from the university now. That happens in the other years that is lying ahead. There are very important rules for school-based placement that I do want to talk about now, because we do have a lot of distance students who are full-time employed in other areas than education. So it's very important that you know this now. So you cannot next year come and say, but I now have a problem. Okay. The first one is, WIL dates are fixed. You cannot write an email and say, but I have a wedding, can I go to school 2 days earlier or 2 days later? WIL days are fixed, and you have to adapt your personal circumstances to those dates. Distance students employed full-time in schools may complete their WIL placement in those schools, submitting that it correlates to your majors. You cannot have a teaching position as a mathematics teacher, but now your majors are science and biology. You need to do your WIL in science and biology. So if you're a maths teacher, it is a potential problem. WIL placement must be completed as a block. So it's 3 weeks at once. You can't do a week and then do something else for 2 days and then do a week again. You have to make your arrangements for the year that you are available for the 2-3 week blocks. Students outside education must organize their leave with their employers. We get it every year that says, I am the receptionist with a lawyer. can I do half days or can I do every second day? You made the choice to study teaching, which is a program that has a practical component. So you need to be available for the whole practical component. If you are not available for the 3 weeks practical, you really will unfortunately not be able to successfully complete the module. Students in the foundation phase may only do one. You're going to be in school 6 times. You may only do once in grade R. Students in the senior FET phase may only do once in grade 7. So you cannot be employed in a primary school and be enrolled for a B.Ed senior FET phase. You're going to run into a problem because you're only going to be allowed to do one 3-week block in grade 7, and what's going to happen to the other 5 3-week blocks. Students employed as assistants in schools will have to negotiate with the principal that for that 3 weeks you cannot do your assistant job. You will have to be in a class with a mentor teacher the whole time. So you need to have these discussions with your principals now already, even though this is only going to be a reality for you next year. No half days allowed, and if you are absent for more than 2 days from school, we will need medical evidence. That is very, very important. Unfortunately, we need to be as strict with school-based placement as a principal would be if you are there one day. That's not something that the Northwest University makes up. That is the DHET's principles in something we call the MR Tech document. So we need to keep to the country's laws when it comes to will. And these rules are very, very important. You will see next year when you do get to go to schools, you will still be able to do it in your hometown, and you will get allocated a school after you've applied for it. We have an electronic system called the whistle system where you let us know, this is my preference for a school. If that school then answers and says, yes, we do have capacity, then you can go to that school. We will deal with the detail of this next year when it is relevant for you. As you are now not this year going out to school, it is not relevant yet. What you do need to know is, especially if you have dreams of being on the house committee or on the student body leadership or something like that, no preferential placement for house committee, sport, employment. You can unfortunately not tell the whistle system, I live in Katu, but I want to do my school practicals in Potchefstroom because I coach hockey for a school year. Or I am on the house committee, I need to be here. You need to know from your first year that teaching practice needs to be your priority. You do not study B.Ed to be on the house committee. You will have to arrange with your superiors that for those 3 weeks you're not going to be in the hostel. If you have a part-time job in the afternoon in Potchefstroom, you will have to tell your employer, unfortunately, I'm not going to be available for these 3 weeks. I have to do my practical. We cannot accommodate 10% of the students who would like to be in Potchefstroom, because we only have so many schools here, so little schools here. So make sure that you know these things before you start planning what schools you want to one day be placed in. Placement can also not be guaranteed. A principal can promise you, I promise you, you can come to my school. The electronic system is first come, first serve. It's like buying tickets on CompuTicket. If you're on the site first, you get the school you want. If you're not on the site, you get what's left. There are different contact people for administrative inquiries and for academic inquiries. This presentation is, as I said, on your Ifundi site, so you can go here to see which academic person and which administrative person should I contact, might I run into a problem. What are academic matters? Portfolio content, assignments, your POP, your professional orientation program, and in later years you're going to get to know something we call simulated teaching. That is academic. Administrative matters is everything that has to do with registration, with school placement, with inquiries about different modules, marks. Us as lecturers do not work with that. So make sure that you send your email to the correct person. On your presentation, you will also see there's the contact detail for us as academic lecturers. When you send us an email, please do the following. Include your name, student number, module code, and campus, because all the first year inquiries from certain campuses come to me. So I won't know what campus you're referring to if you don't tell me. Give me as much detail as you can when you state your problem to prevent us having to get into a conversation. Compose a professional email. Start with a proper salutation. Good morning, ma'am. Don't just write your problem. We get emails where the whole email is in the subject line. That does not read very easily. So make sure you send the proper email. Give the person that you send it to time to respond. We really do have thousands of emails in the Will Office, so give at least 48 hours. If after 48 hours you have not had a response, definitely follow up. But please do allow us that favor. Remember that there are more than 7,000 student teachers, so make it easy for the person you are emailing to respond. Give as much detail about your inquiry as you can. Work integrated learning can be one of the most fun things you'll do, or it can be one of the worst. Every year I deal with principals who phone me and say, I've just chased this person away. I don't want him at my school anymore. That's a problem. If you can't complete school-based placement, you can't get your degree. So what is the basis of this presentation I want you to remember? Firstly, you need to have 8 Will modules in 8 semesters. If you fail one, you extend your studies by a whole year. You may not register for 2 modules. You need to know the rules of school-based placement for your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year. You're not going to have any school-based placement in your first year. You're going to do the POP program in the first semester. You must have 2 eFundi sites, an academic site and an administrative site. Your POP program is already uploaded on the academic site. I hope that it is a wonderful experience for you, that you will enjoy doing the POP program, that you will enjoy work integrated learning and just that little glimpse of what being a teacher is really about. Good luck for your 4 years, good luck for your work integrated learning, and I hope that we will have good conversations in the time to come.